Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good, mate. Super Saturday, mate, at Flemington.
It's exciting.
Very exciting day, and big race day in Sydney as well. There's black type races right through the cards in both Melbourne and Sydney. So three big Group 1s for the weekend. So we'll get started with the main Group 1 for the weekend, which is the Australian Cup at weight for age over 2,000 metres, $1 million race, and a really open Australian Cup, mate. Who do you like in the Australian Cup?
Yes, Dave. It's a good sized field. I think it'll be run pretty solidly, which will suit my selection in Happy Trails.
Yep.
I think Entirely Platinum will kick up and hold its position from 1, which ensures that the clean will have to work from out wide.
Yep.
And let's see, the other horse, Greatwood, would be coming across from 12, which will ensure pretty good speed. Happy Trails will get back from 4, so the Genuine Clip will suit him. He's a horse that needs luck. Obviously, he was really unlucky in the Turnbull last year, but then come out and won the McKinnon with Faulkner running second. He's third up here, which usually going through his racing pattern is when the horse peaks.
Yep.
And I think at the price, he's about $5.50, $6 at the moment. I think with even luck, he's going to finish in the first 3, so I think he's a great each way bet for mine.
Yep. I'm going to tip Spillway in this race. He's a bit of a gunner horse, but I'm giving him one more chance back at Flemington. I think the 2,000 metres is his best distance. He ran a huge race last spring in the McKinnon off the back of a 4-week break, and I just hope they try and settle midfield with him. They've been dropping him back out to last in the last couple of runs, and he's just been making those long runs and just finishing outside the place getters. But I just think he's got a really big finish on him. If he can sit midfield, as you say, there's plenty of speed in this race, and I just think it'll set it up for the finishers. Happy Trails is drawn to get a great run from barrier 4. He's run, he's nearly won 2 Cox plates. He's run well at the 2,000 metres before. He's likely to be sitting 2 or 3 pairs back, and he'll just get a great cart into this race. So I think that's his main danger with Damien Oliver aboard. And the other horse I think will get a nice cart into this race is Fortella off the back of 2 good runs in Sydney. He's ready to peak third up. I'm just not sure Glenn Boss is the right rider for him. I just think he needs a really strong whip rider to get the best out of him. I wish Froggy Newitt had jumped on, who had won a few races on him before. But Glenn Boss does ride a distance race quite well, so he is very tactical. But a pretty open race, mate, and a very wide race for the quaddies. A great race and wide open.
Yeah,
the second Group 1 is the $1 million Newmarket Handicap over 1,200 metres, and a ripper race here, mate. Probably the best sprint race assembled since prior to the Black Caviar era.
It's fantastic race, Dave. I can't wait for it. Well, you were on Lincoln Rupee's bandwagon last start, and I've jumped on.
He was impressive.
His win last start, I don't think there would have been a horse in the world that would have beaten him. If you go through weights, you'd say he can't win because he met these horses at set weights last year, and Terra Vista and Chautauqua beat him. He's worse off at the weights here, but I think the big thing is here he had a quarter crack, which you do miss work
in the spring.
In the spring,
yep.
And also he was sort of ridden forward to sort of counter buffering. They've changed all that. The horse is 100% fit. He's going to settle off him. There'll be good speed. The Terra Vista and Chautauqua will probably be behind him. They'll be chasing him. But I think he'll be too good. And I think $3.50, about the best sprinter in the world, is a great price. So he's on a bit for mine.
It is good value in this race if you like anything. I'm really keen on Chautauqua. I just think he's been set for this race. A lead-up run wasn't convincing. But I'm sure it was just a preparatory run for this with this in mind. They put Deep Field in the Lightning. They didn't run Chautauqua in the Lightning, so I'm pretty sure that was a plan. Dwayne Dunn made an error of judgment in the Daly Classic at the end of the spring, I thought, when he got beat by Terra Vista. And he just let him get away with a bit of a break before he really let Chautauqua go. And I think he should have really won that race. I just doubt he'll make the same mistake again, because he's drawn to just get the run just on the outside of Terra Vista, and I think he'll just wait to unleash his devastating sprint. And I think he's one of the best sprint straight horses in Australia. It'll be an exciting finish. Lankan Rupee is obviously going to be prominent as well, and I just think this race may set up totally different for him than what it did last start when he just had deep field to follow in the Lightning. So Chatak was about $3. They're all going to be about that $3 to $3.50. They'll go up and down through the betting, and I think he's probably the bet for me for the day, so he's on the bid for mine. The third Group 1 is in Sydney, mate, the Coolmore Classic, which is a great race for fillies and mares over 1,500 metres worth 600,000. And who do you like in the Coolmore, mate?
Well, I think it's pretty signed, sealed, delivered for myself. First Seal. I think she's the best 3-year-old filly in the land, and I think she's a budding superstar. She takes on the older mares here at a mile, but her win last start was emphatic. You couldn't get a more dominant win. Third up here is going to suit. 1,500 is going to suit. She won the flight stakes over a mile. The wide gate's not going to really matter. The start at Rose Hill over the 1,500, she can just slide across and she can do what she wants. I think she'd just be too good for them. She's short, but she's on the bit for me.
Yeah, only 2 words needed in this race, mate. First Seal. She's a superstar. So $1.70 on the bit. I can't see how she gets beat. I think she's the best filly and mare in Australia, and she'll go very close in the Doncaster later in the autumn, I reckon. Stable news, Lenny. What's happening with Bluegrass this week, mate?
Bluegrass, we've got Magnet running.
Yep.
Dream Thoroughbreds horse that we bought from Adelaide. So really looking forward to her going around. Got a few trialling tomorrow, a few unraced ones, and apart from that, just looking forward to Saturday.
There we are, all looking forward to Saturday. Firstly, Longmac won last Friday at Cranbourne. That was pretty exciting. Awesome. He showed a devastating sprint to overhaul the leader in the shadows of the post, and really found the key to this horse is actually holding him up and letting him sprint. He's got a really good sprint, which he's shown at track work, and the key was he was leading in his races early days, and yes, we just pulled him back off a fast pace. And he showed it on Friday night, and we christened a new thing on Friday night, Lenny, was the Dream Scream. So if you hadn't heard or been watching the Cranbourne races on Friday, you would have heard everybody screaming when Longmac hit the line. There was a lot of us there, and so we're calling it the Dream Scream, and hopefully we'll hear the Dream Scream again on Saturday, because as you said, Magnet runs at Flemington on Saturday in the Group 3 Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes. Yeah, this is a filly that you and Wes actually purchased from Adelaide Magic Million Sale last year. I wasn't actually there, but she rang me up and said, "You've got to have this filly," and I was quick to jump on board. A tough race for her at only her second start, I've got to say that, but there's only 8 runners, and it's a great opportunity for her to get some black type here against the name and enhance her residual value as a broodmare. If she wins all places in this race, you'll hear the Dream Scream again, mate. You will hear it. I'll be screaming. You'll hear it back wherever you are sitting at home in Melbourne. And yeah, there's a couple of trials tomorrow morning. That's at Ballarat on the course proper. The trials are. Turfinator and Showbiz will be going around, and this is probably their last trial before they kick off their campaigns in a couple of weeks' time. So that'll be interesting to see how they both go. Best on breeding then. Who's your best on breeding this week, mate? You actually labelled Longmac last week, best on breeding, and it got home. And I think it paid about $3.74. So it was good value for the business.
We're doing it again. This one's even better value, but Freedom Runner, Chiller.
That's a Tillalegia, I think.
It's hard, this has probably got one of the best pedigrees in the game. She never went through the sales. She's by the very good American stallion in Magdalia d'Oro, and who's a sire of the champion American filly in Rachel Alexander. She's out of Romney. Everyone will remember Romney running round. She was a pint-sized little mare, but really good group sprinting mare. And Romney was out of the very good mare in Mannington, who's in turn out of Big Masqué. You can't really get a better line than that. They're all bred in the purple, so this filly is bred to be a very nice horse, and she looks like she's on the way up.
Yep, she's my value bet as well. But Matilda Legia, exciting filly, very exciting. She's been racing at Moonee Valley for her first 3 starts, and I actually doubt it really suits her style of racing. She won her first 2 starts and she ran 3rd last start in a group, I think it was a Group 2 race. She ran a huge race last start, really sort of against the bias. She was sort of settled back and made a long run around them. It was a huge run, even though she ran 3rd and there was a big 100-to-1 winner in that race. I think if she's allowed to sit and get cover in this race, she's drawn barrier 14, so she is out wide. The favourite's inside her in 13, so they both tried to get over and get cover. I think she can pull out a huge sprint over the last 200 of this race and could be a real blowout. She gets an international jockey on board, James Doyle, to ride, who will be very patient on her, I imagine. And I think she's way over the odds. You can get about $16 each way on her. I think she's lots of value. So, yeah, we're all around her in race 5 at Flemington on Saturday. On the bit, Lenny, who's your on the bit special for the weekend, mate?
On the bit is my new market pick in Lincoln Route.
Yeah.
I'm very confident about him winning again, Dave. As I said before, everything that I said, I just think that the horse wasn't right in his spring, and he's back to where he was prior to that. And I think that maybe
you've got to remember, last autumn he was devastating in every run. Yeah, he was unbeatable.
He was unbeatable. He beat everything and beat them hands down, and just the way he sat off them. I know Chautauqua and Terra Vista weren't in the field, but the way he won, I couldn't have seen anything beating him that day, and if he repeats that, yeah, they won't get near him, I would think.
I'm on the bit with Rose Hill Race 6, number 7, Hartnell. He had his first run in Australia a couple of weeks ago in a Group 1. He ran 2nd to his stablemate and contributor. He now comes back to a Group 3 race after being a nominal favourite for the Australian Cup. They didn't choose to go there. He's up to a more suitable distance in 2,000 metres. I just think he looks absolutely on the bit at $1.80. I know it's quite skinny, but if you're very daring, I'd take the multi into deep field as well, who's in race 2 at Rose Hill. You can get $2.50 about that double, and I just really load up and get yourself a bank for the day on the bit for mine.
First seal as well.
You could multi up first seal if you want to go that way too, yeah. There's a few shorties you can do really multi up on the weekend. Off the bit, Lenny. Who you got off the bit with this weekend, mate? We've been really sharp on these, mate. You haven't got one wrong yet.
We haven't. Luckily, mine didn't have a run last week.
They even scratched now. When they label them off the bit, they scratch it now.
The Melbourne Cup winner, Dave.
Yes.
Race 7, number 2, Protectionist. I can't believe he's favourite, or he's favourite in some corporates and equal favourites with others. He's a 2-mile winner of the Melbourne Cup, but that was under handicap conditions.
Yeah.
He's at weight for age here over 2,000. His run first up was really good. I thought he hit the line solidly over 1,800. He's going 2nd up now over 2,000. I just don't think he's going to have the turn of foot to beat some of these weight for age horses, and I'd rather be in their corner than he is. Once he gets over 1.5 miles under handicap conditions, then you can start to look at him again.
You'd think he'd be set for the BMW, wouldn't you, in the autumn in Sydney when he gets to 2,400. So, I would have thought so as well. I'm off the bit with Flemington Race 2, number 9, Systonic. She was spruiked as a future superstar of the turf, this filly, and she came crashing down to earth last start. It's a very strong race she's in on Saturday. She's also against the male. She's only ever run against the fillies. She's down the straight for the first time. It's not going to be easy for her. She's opened up as favourite. I just think that's very, very, very short for mine. Not for me, not as favourite. So she's off the bit for mine. So a huge day, Lenny.
Yeah.
An absolutely huge day. After this week, we do go to Sydney for the big autumn carnival. So this is the biggest day probably for the Melbourne Autumn Carnival. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people out there at Flemington on Saturday. We'll be a lot watching magnet runs, and hopefully we've got some good news for you next week. See you later.
Cheers.